welcome to Focus Today. I wanted to take a few moments to give you an update on where we are with our spring boost, and again to say to all of you that have called and stopped by or gone online, whatever, that have responded, thank you so very, very, very much. We are in the middle of a spring boost, and this year it's wrapped around a project that we have been saving and budgeting for, and that is to, for the first time in 11 years of being in this building, we're actually fixing it to work better. We're literally putting in heating and air conditioning in a commercial way so that it can be better and more efficient around here. And as you know, for all these years, we've had this interesting challenge with airplane noise, which is just part of being at an airport, I guess, that we are insulating the building at a great measure. And so, like I said, we had budgeted for that. What we're asking you to prayerfully help us with is some very much needed equipment. And I had to redo the goal late last night only because in the middle of all this, of course, I don't mean to be cynical about that, but we have a major piece of equipment go down. And so we have to replace it, and that's about $12,000, and didn't want to do that. But the point being is we're about 58% of our goal. Our goal was around $130,000. We had to bump it another 10 because of this piece of equipment. That where it is, we're operating on borrowed time because the company that we bought it from is no longer going to service that piece of equipment, so we have to replace it. But I want to say thank you. As you all know, that don't take from your church or any other ministry the Lord has you involved in, and support those ministries and support their outreaches and what they do for fundraising as well. So in supporting theDove, it has to be a God thing. The Lord has to lead you, and you have to want to do it. And you're partnering with us in reaching literally thousands of people every hour of the day. The response from our programming has just been through the roof lately. Over the last 6 or 7 years, you can just feel the impact that theDove is having through programming, both radio, television, over the airways, websites, streaming, digital platforms. It's just amazing. But quite a few years ago, I had an opportunity to get into television years ago, and we tried, and it didn't work, and it failed, and I was discouraged, and I thought, well, the Lord doesn't want us to do that. And then another opportunity came around where we were able to pick up a license. And believe me, we came at this a very strange way and a very hard way, but God has honored it, and God was with us and is with us in what we're doing. And I thought I would play this little video for you today so that you can get a little bit of history of how the television part came into being with the radio part. And there's a significant part of this that is really amazing that had happened. So I want to show this video, and then I'll explain that to you. But this is 15 years ago. When we took over theDove radio in 1983, we couldn't afford a morning man. So I just got up and did it. And that's what we did. Here we are close to 29 years later, and I've still been doing the morning show. It began to grow. In fact, it grew fast, and to the point where once we started it, I knew we couldn't end it, and it went from being an hour to 2 hours, and today it's 3 hours. About 1989, 1990, back in there, where we had looked into the idea of possibly getting a television license then, and that didn't work out. And then I realized the uniqueness of the morning show provided an opportunity to create a new format for television. And then television news in itself began to do morning news, which began to grow. And I thought, could we combine the two together? Could it work? And so I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s when that vision become focused in my mind that perhaps we could do this. We had an opportunity to get one, and all of a sudden at the last minute, the seller decided to sell it to somebody else. All the doors closed, so we just kind of stopped pursuing that. I thought, well, the Lord did not want us in television, and in those days, it was all analog. It was very expensive to do, and I thought, well, the Christian television model in America was really big then, and I thought we could never compete at that level. And the opportunity to literally get a channel just wasn't coming about. So we kind of abandoned the whole idea. 2007, a gentleman called me and from Klamath Falls. He really felt like the Lord spoke to him that you're to give this television license to Perry. Well, I struggled with it because I thought, did God close the door permanently or temporarily? Because all of a sudden, here was part of our vision back on the table again, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, are we supposed to do this, or did God not want us to do that? So that was kind of going through my mind.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Terry Atkinson. Welcome to the Dove TV. Well, this is it. Today, the Dove TV launches right here on Charter TV, Channel 18. We signed on March 4th, 2010. And it was very exciting because not only did we come on UHF, we came on 2 charter channels, or one charter channel in 2 counties, excuse me. And that was significant for an LP television station to literally sign on initially with a cable channel below the top 20, we're Channel 18. I mean, the whole thing just kind of came together. It was a miracle. When we went into the news format on radio, I did it because I realized that Christians are people too. They have everyday jobs, they have everyday schedules, and could we create a program that not only met their need as they were going to work, but would be attractive to non-believers and a reliable product that they could listen in and get informed. And then the television thing, I thought, we know that television cameras have been in radio studios before. That wasn't unique, but could you take a morning drive show that was very successful on radio and make it equally successful on television and not have 2 departments doing 2 different things, literally meld all this together and make it one and come up with a new model that could be successful both on radio and television. When the television station signed on air, then the whole idea of the morning show going on air came back into focus again, and then it became a matter, could it be done? Did we have the equipment, the facility to do it? Did we have the budget to do it? Could it be done? Did we have the personnel to do it? All of those issues came back into focus. But in the back of my mind was this feeling, this is the thing to do. This is something that we should do. I went to a board meeting one day. It was like, it was a couple of months after we had the television station on the air. And I'm sitting with our board members, and we're in this board meeting. We're going through all the business of the Dove ministry. And one of our board members raised his hand. He said, Perry, I really think you ought to concentrate on putting the morning show on television. Well, we never discussed it at a board level. It was just kind of me. I had it inside of me. I never really took it to the board. And so I'm going, well, there's another confirmation. And then they started leaning on me. The whole board kind of leaned forward. Well, why aren't you taking your most valuable product and putting it on television? And in fact, they kind of made a little bit of an edict. They wanted it done right away. Well, we didn't have the funds or the means to do it right away. So it's taken us about 2 years to get to that point. When we got the award from the National Religious Broadcasters of being Television as a Station of the Year, and one of the reasons that that award was given was the uniqueness of our programming lineup. And then to add to that uniqueness, what I would consider the main ingredient, and that is to have a very interactive live morning television program. To me, it is one of the crowning moments in the history of this ministry to see it go on the air. I was taught in Bible college somewhere between the prayer and the answer, God makes the saint, and I think what's happened is from the time we first had the vision to the fulfillment of the vision, if we stayed faithful, and God stayed faithful, and we stayed faithful, it came together, and in that He made us. He made us who we are. We're ready for this. And so I think it's something that once it's up and running, I think it's going to be an industry pace setter. I just feel that in my heart, that God will use this not only for our sake in reaching people, but God will use this as a ways to reach a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't tune into a radio station or a television station. If we do this with a standard of excellence in the broadcasting industry and with the Christian input that really encourages people,
I'm hoping that they'll feel safe to share that with other people in their lives, that they could tune in and listen. The scripture that makes all this happen for me is Romans 10:20. I was found by those who were seeking me, and I manifested myself those who didn't ask. That's what we do. We'll put it out there and then trust God to match the content of what we are doing with the person's need, and then let it go viral to reach as many people as we can.
Well, that was 15 years ago. And here we are today in this expansion remodel here of the entire operation of the Dove broadcast ministry, media ministry. And we're taking this building that was a gift in so many ways 11 years ago, and we're fixing it to make it more efficient. And as I look and I even watch that, it just stuns me that it's happened, and it is happening. And you're a part of that, and you've been a vital part of that. Still 84% of the Dove's revenue comes from viewers and listeners just like you. So most of the remodel that we're doing has been budgeted, but we're asking you to help us with some equipment. And if we can get all this done in the next couple of 3 weeks, at least get the funds in, we'll complete the project that's in front of us. You can't even, as I'm speaking, they're out there texturing walls right now and ready for paint, and then we'll be moving things around. And we don't want to take some equipment that's already obsolete and put it into a control room and then have to deal with it later. So we're trying to raise the funds to take that into consideration. We're about 58% of our goal right now. So if the Lord is talking to you about it, pray about it, and you want to take some time, that's fine. But over the next couple of weeks, pray about it. And you can call us anytime at 541-776-5368, or you can safely and securely go online at theDove.us. And when you watch that video, realize this, folks. You and God made that happen. We just had the vision. We had the wherewithal in our hearts to do it, but really your support and the miraculous intervention and the calling of God has made that happen, and this is what we do now, and you're a part of that. And I just want to say thank you for your continued support and your prayers. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.